In all of history, in all of time, this past Black Friday season was the largest sales record high ever. So there was a 2.5% increase. And what's most notable is the biggest increase were in the amount of people shopping online versus waiting in line at stores, and more specifically, shopping using their mobile devices. That's at 54%. Again, an all time high. Why am I spouting these facts and stats to you right now? It's so that your brain can't tell you the reason your client books aren't full, the reason why no one bought your offer, the reason why no one is signing up for the thing is because of the economy, is because people aren't buying as much this year, is because people are distracted, is because there's too much noise, because your industry is too saturated. It is absolutely not true. We're going to get into it in this episode of how to land dream clients consistently the easy way. And I have three components I'm going to take you through. Really good news, by the way. There are hours left. I extended my own Black Friday sale for a little bit because I got distracted. Where, if you guys listened to the last episode, my mentor of 21 years passed away. So, in good faith, I thought it was only fair to extend it. There are literally 5 posse spots left in my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership. And this is where you get weekly live trainings with me and other special guest experts. It is popping in there. I mean, we have people who are landing their first clients. We have people who are finally seeing consistency in their business. We have people who are reaching $15,000 a month and beyond and are having fun doing it. We're having people who've gotten out of the dead zone in social media and now they're getting engagement and people reaching out to them. It is such a beautiful community and experience. I didn't want just to have something where I'm only teaching you strategy, and all of that's in there. Everything you need to go from zero to $15,000 a month is in there. But the support along the way for all the mental nonsense is critical, because if you don't have that support and you don't have people by your side so that you're going to show up regardless over and over again, it doesn't matter what strategy I teach you. So everything is in there. You get over $2,000 in incredible high level exclusive bonuses. Plus, you get $50 off your first month initiation fee. And that's not offered again ever until next year. It's a one time a year thing. You can also sign up for the annual option, which I highly recommend, because then you save even an additional $200+ on that. All right. So get in there, projectmewithtiffany.com/Black Friday. These are the final hours. You can swipe up. That link is in the show notes. It's in the description right here on ProjectME TV on YouTube. Don't wait on it. And if it's full, it will say it on the page. It'll be very clear. And you can check back every hour and refresh, because sometimes people do drop off, because that's what happens in memberships, and you might be able to get in, but I highly doubt it. Usually this time of year, it's packed full, and these are the only spots that are left. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. I've got to give a disclosure at the top of this episode. I am not of sound mind at the moment. I've not been sleeping really well since my longtime mentor and friend passed away, which is understandable. I'm going through, what are there, 7 stages of grief? Well, I don't know what stage I'm in. I'm in the not sleeping stage. But just like I teach all of you, which goes with today's episode, I show up regardless. And this isn't in a unhealthy way and not honoring myself. This isn't in a self-sacrificing way. I show up because if we want to have big results in our business and big results in whatever thing we have out there, whether it's a podcast, whether it's social media channels, it's YouTube, it's your body, it's your relationship, whatever it may be, you have to find a way to get yourself to show up regardless in some capacity. Does this mean you have to be at your best all the time? And I think that's what stops a lot of you, is you're thinking, I have to be boosting with energy. My brain has to be firing on all cylinders in order to be able to deliver, in order for people to think it was worth their time. And I think it's coming from a good place, right? You want to give the best of you, not what's left of you. But you know what? Think about it, whether you're a parent or not. I'm not a parent of human species. I'm a godparent, but anyway, with parenting, don't you have to show up whether you were up all night throwing up yourself, or you didn't sleep, or something happened at work, or you had an argument with your partner? Like, you have to find a way to show up regardless. So you need to treat your business like it's your baby, where it would be neglectful, it would be wrong. And even if you have to say to yourself, it would be pretty much illegal to not show up and give the best of whatever I've gotten. See, and I can't even talk like I've gotten. What am I even talking about? And it doesn't matter, because people can feel your heart. I know I'm still going to deliver great information that's going to help you get more ideal clients, and not months from now. If you implement what I'm sharing with you today and these 3 components, you can get a new client this afternoon. I can't make you follow through, and I hope that you do. We have all these stories that we tell ourselves about why people aren't buying, why you're not getting social media engagement, why you don't have clients coming to you, why you feel like you always have to come to them, or why you're getting like low-level clients, or people saying, I can't afford it, now's not a good time. They're giving you the pass off, the brush off, they're ghosting you. And then you're watching, whether it's online or it's offline, if you have a physical business, you're seeing people go to your competitors. You're seeing other people make all these sales, and you're like, God, what am I doing wrong? Like, I even kind of low key know, like, I have more experience and talent than this particular person, or that we have a better reputation than this company or this brand, or these people are so like sleazy. How is it that they're getting all this and I'm over here where it's trickling in? There isn't some magic thing that these other people are doing. It's more about what you're not doing than it is about what these other people in your industry that you're watching, who, I mean, listen, we don't know. We can't vouch for all of them, but like, are having success. All right. And I'm just going to bottom line it for you today. I don't want to overcomplicate it. This is stuff that we go into truly like step by step, with examples, and work through it inside my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership. So that would be next level for you. There's month-to-month option for you commitment phobes. Okay. You can cancel at any time. You're not going to want to. Or those of you who are like, I'm going to treat my business like my baby. Then there's also the annual option, and you save more money with that. All right. And I put the link right in the show notes and in the description on YouTube for you. So if you're like, oh, I have more questions, Tiff, how can I apply this to my business? Or am I understanding this correctly? Like, I want to make sure I do this right. That would be your next best move. Okay. So let's start with component 1. And it would be so wonderful if I could read my handwriting. Thank you so much, parents, for sending me to Countryside Montessori School, where I learned handwriting by tracing my finger over sandpaper over and over again. Yeah, don't recommend that technique. Or by learning math with test tubes and beads, which I remember I would put the beads up my nose and then blow them out. I thought that was fun. And guess who's not good at math? Me. So just so you know, you do not have to be good at math to be a multimillionaire, but you do have to know what's up with money. And we have some episodes that are in the production schedule that are going to further help you get better with money, in addition to my Make More, Work Less guided workbook course, which this is the final hours for that sale too. And then it goes up by $200. You can get that right now for $177. where it has my videos. It has a 70+ page incredible workbook that goes with it. You can go to the highlights section on my Instagram at ProjectME TV, and you can see all the testimonials from all the people of all the things. They're all right in there for you. And this is designed to transform your money story in 7 days or less. This is a great starting point when you don't know where to start. But if you really want to make the move right now, I would combine the two together if I were you, if you can still get into the posse. All the spots might be gone, and all of the limited release for the sale of the workbook course, those could be gone as well. And the page will say that if it's sold out. So if you have to pause this and go there, do it, because this is the final shot, people. Okay. Component 1, identifying your ideal client. Now, you've heard me say this. You may have heard some other people say this, but how I teach this is much, much different. Okay. You have to understand this ideal client of yours so well, of what are their particular issues? What are their particular problems? What are their particular struggles? How do those particular problems and issues and struggles make them feel day in and day out when they can't figure it out? What challenges are they facing? Imagine trying to like hit a bullseye blindfolded. There's a shot you could hit the board. I actually really enjoy playing darts. I need to get a dartboard here. It's so gratifying. I digress. You can throw, man, you can throw those darts and you might get lucky, but that's not a profitable business plan. And I don't want that for you. I'd rather teach you the technique so you know for sure you're going to land on the board, and with enough practice and enough consistency, you're going to get that bullseye over and over again. So we need to get more specific. You're being too general. What I mean by that is you're saying things like, I know that you want to feel more confident. I know you want to lose weight. I know you want to be able to bring in more permanent makeup clients. I know that you want to get more listings as a realtor. You want to become more well-known. You want to heal your childhood trauma. It's too surface. It's not specific enough, and it's not sticky enough. People, including yourself, and we just did a detailed training on this in the posse that people were shooketh over. People will not give you their time, energy, and money unless it is clear as fuck what they're getting in return. Okay. They need to know, in exchange for this, you, ex-business owner, are going to help me clear my skin. You're going to help me lose weight while maintaining my energy. You are going to help me heal my childhood wounding that's preventing me from calling in a loving and trusting and healthy and passionate relationship. Do you see how specific I went in with there? Wow, went in with there. I told you, I warned you. This is as good as it gets, as it gets, as it gets, as good as it gets over here. Be more specific in all of your things, and be specific with showing them and positioning how. And I don't mean the how in terms of necessarily step-by-step education, but be more specific in, you're experiencing this challenge, this issue, and this particular offer of mine, this particular service of mine, this particular way I have of doing things, the way we operate, this particular product is going to help you get closer to why. And the why is their core desired result. People pay for results. You're not saying I'm guaranteeing you're going to have $25 million home listings if you buy my course. I'm not saying for my stuff, like, oh, you get my Make More Work Less guided workbook course and you're going to have $100,000 in 7 days. Like, I don't want you to do anything like that. We want to be in full integrity here. But what can you promise them? Right? I can promise you your money story will change in 7 days or less if you follow what's in there confidently. I promise you, I'm not guaranteeing because there's all sorts of other stuff that's going on in your life. And you're only with me so many hours a day, if you're even with me that long. You will have a significant increase in clients and cash in your business by being in the posse and implementing the strategies that are shared in there. So, what are things that you can promise they're going to get closer to? They're going to get help with if they buy, sign up, join, do, take this certain action that you want them to take that you make money off from. All right. That's component one. And you're just not getting detailed enough. So, I want you to psychoanalyze yourself. What are things you need to know before you make a purchase? And I know all of you are overthinkers, overanalyzers. So I need you to kind of flip it back on yourself. Use the front facing camera on yourself. Like, oh, damn, that's true. I'm not saying there aren't impulsive purchases, like when you're in the checkout line of Sephora and you're buying all these mini size things that are totally overpriced, but they're so cute and they're hard to resist. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't even want you getting impulse buyers. That's not what we're about here. We want lasting, incredible clients that are repeat buyers. What makes you a repeat buyer of your favorite brands? What is it? And then you need to emulate that and apply that to your own business. Let's move on to component two. And this is going to shock you. You probably are not thinking I would say this, which I'm guessing is why you do enjoy this podcast, is because I serve it straight and I don't give you any basic bullshit. There's nothing that irritates me more than I invest my time in listening to a podcast or I pay for some course or a program or a membership and I'm getting regurgitated information that I could have just Googled and that I either already knew or it's like common knowledge. Like when I hear fitness coaches telling people to drink more water, like, okay, I think we all know that. We didn't need to spend our time hearing that. Okay. Component two is building a compelling brand image. This is not a logo and a catchy tagline. I'm not saying that's not part of it. Your brand is the soul of your business, and you need to treat it as such. And when you have a small business, and even more so if you have a personal brand, like you're a lawyer, you're an accountant, you're a realtor, you're a coach, you're a service-based professional, or you're the face of your product-based business. Maybe you're the creator of the art, of the jewelry, you're a content creator, whatever it is. It's even stronger that you're the soul because it's not so disconnected. I like Nike, but I don't even know who the CEO of Nike is. That brand is so established. That's a whole different animal, right? But when it comes to small businesses, your favorite coffee shop and restaurant, you have a connection with the soul of that business, which ties to the soul of the founder, the soul of the creative director, the soul of the owner. You are locked in or you're repelled by it. So you have to be willing to repel people in order to attract the right people. And this is no different than in your personal life. I'm just saying. And it can be uncomfortable because you have to be bold. You have to put a stake in the ground for whatever it is that you stand for and you don't stand for in your particular industry, in the particular challenges that people face in the industry, in the particular way of how you do things, how you present things, your unique take on things. Otherwise, you're going to attract a bunch of garbage. And we don't need more trash. There's enough trash. There's enough trash out there. We don't want that. We want the gems. We want the ideal clients. So how do you do this? I need you to get really creative and give yourself the space to get creative. I love having creatives on the show. And on Wednesday, we're having a very well paid, amazing singer-songwriter. And that'll be a wonderful pairing with this episode for you to hear, because when you pair and give yourself space to be creative, that's when the most beautiful things come out. You hear what music artists do. You won't see them for a year and they're off and creating. And you go, well, Tiffany, they have all this money to do that. That's an extreme example. But I might take a weekend. You might need to take a week and really create and curate an environment and put yourself in an environment that stimulates you, that has you think differently. Again, this is why the posse membership is so great, because you're around a unique melting pot of individuals from around the world that are all there to support you. So you get different perspectives on things. Go to a new restaurant in town. I love going to Sephora and looking at different makeup lines and all the colors and the packaging. That really inspires me. And sometimes you'll try things and, it falls flat and it doesn't work for you. And that's okay. Just keep trying something new. Maybe there's someone you can go out to lunch with, not to pick their brain, but for you both to have a brainstorming session together. Those are always fun. I need you to create a compelling brand narrative that resonates emotionally with your target ideal client. And I don't want you getting fixated on, oh, it has to have these 5 points and these statements. What's the narrative? What's the damn story here? Where are you going with it? And create this strong brand identity, because this is what's going to set you apart from the competition. This is why no market is ever too saturated, but it also acts as a magnet and it will draw the right people to you as long as you are creating that narrative and it's genuine and it's from your soul. That's in part why, maybe the part of why you're attracted to me and how I teach and what I stand for and what I don't stand for, and my unique qualities and the ProjectME brand. You're the most exceptional project of your life, because I spent most of my life putting everyone and everything ahead of me because I thought that's what you had to do, because I didn't have any self-worth. And it can leave you financially bankrupt, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And the abundance comes when we are honoring and allowing ourselves to shine and show up for ourselves and the best of ourselves and saying yes to ourselves and doing the damn thing. And it is possible for you. Whatever you want is genuinely possible for you. There's some version of it that's possible, and you might not see that particular version yet. And there's always a version. And Wednesday's episode is a great example of someone where you're like, oh, well, I want to be a famous recording artist. Is she a famous recording artist? No, she was on a major TV show and almost won. But is she a paid artist using her voice and helping also other people who are wanting to get paid and monetize off of singing and songwriting? Yes. There's always a fucking way. And if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. And I never want you to have to be dependent or beholden on any person, place, thing, job, client, or institution for money. That's when you set yourself fucking free. Boom, bang, done. Do you see my brand narrative in there? And you don't have to like sit there and go, how many times do I need to repeat it? That's your ego coming in. What does your damn brand stand for? And then you might need to rearrange your branding elements. You might need to rename and repackage some of your things so it all aligns with that. But then you end up attracting people who want what you have and want what's possible and resonate with that energy and that vibration of what you stand for. And yeah, then you're going to repel people who aren't into it. I mean, I've repelled a bunch of people with this Make More Work Less guided workbook course, but I've also attracted thousands and thousands of you. And thank you so much for sharing your screenshots of you doing the guided workbook course, being vulnerable and humble and sharing with your big breakthroughs that you're getting with your money wounds and getting unblocked around money and all the wonderful things that are coming in for you. But there's people who I repelled. There's people who were triggered by it, and that's okay. They're either not ready for me at this point in the journey or we're a mismatch. And that's fine. But you have to be willing to repel those people. Okay. The third component, profitable marketing. All right. You have to highly leverage content marketing now more than ever. Those stats I gave at the beginning of the show, I mean, a heavy percentage of online sales, I'm talking over 70%, had a social media component that was responsible for the person pressing the button and buying the thing. So they saw, and I don't even mean paid ads. I'm sure paid ads obviously were part of it for people who are at that level in their brand, but don't be telling yourself that story of, oh, they have money for ads. You know, there is not one time you will hear me say that you have to do ads to even get to $25,000 a month. Okay. And doing ads, I don't want you spending any money on that until your organic content and your brand story is finessed and massaged, and that converts to cash first. Then you can put money on it to fuel that fire. But if you think by just spending money, you're going to make money, let me tell you something, honey. There'd be a line of people at every bank getting a loan, and banks would be handing out mega business loans if that was a strategy that paid off. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Had to go off on a little tangent about that. So these videos, they will have myself, right? I did videos that heavily talked about money blocks and the ties of why you're repelling abundance now as an adult, ties to stuff that you've picked up energetically, stuff that you observed, stuff that you absorbed in your childhood, because that is a one key section of my guided workbook course. And I didn't sit there and like bash people over the head by the course, but I did mention in at least one sentence in the videos, hey, my course is on sale. There's a limited run of 200 that you can get 200 off. And by the way, you guys, remember, final hours on that. Seriously. So you go to projectmewithtiffany.com/make more, work less. I had to think about that for a second. But the link's in the show notes. You can swipe up. It's on the description here on YouTube. Hey, my YouTubers, drop a comment. You guys go subscribe over YouTube. It's a vibe. We are going to be upgrading YouTube further. And so I'm going to be investing money and having an actual set where I bring guests over here. And the set, of course, is not going to be basic. It's not going to be anything that you've seen. Because if I see one more video of the same set with the same shit, we're going to keep it casual. I might even say, like, if you do not show up, you can show up cute, but if you don't show up like casual and chill, you're going to be forced to change. I don't know if they still do this, but who remembers when, this is how you know you grew up rich. Who remembers when you could go to restaurants like a fancy steakhouse, and if you were not, as a man, wearing like a blazer, like a coat, they would hand you one from the house that you would have to wear. And it would be like the shameful blazer. Does anyone remember that? And before you guys who don't know my story are like, oh, that's why she's so wealthy, she grew up rich. You need to listen to my story. My story is in my guided workbook course. I lived the house of horrors and I was privileged. I did get my entire college education paid for. Absolutely, I did. And that's the least I should have gotten. I should have gotten more, but I don't have any contact with my mother. Nothing, nada, zero. This is self-funded by me, myself, and I. So I need you to start deliberately being more strategic with your content. And what you're posting needs to be a dotted line to what you're selling. So if you're selling, let's say some kind of like private coaching services or a retreat or something like that, you don't have to be so literal about it, but take some of the key things that, that people are going to get and benefit from buying your thing, attending your thing, signing up for your thing, paying your thing, and create content around it. And then you're just mentioning it. You want to experience more of this? I have my blah, blah, blah coaching services available. I have room for 3 more clients. I have my retreat right now that we're doing pre-sales for. You can go to the top of my page for that. And this can happen in emails. This can happen on any of the social media channels. And this needs to happen over and over and over again. And you're not doing enough content. And I'm not trying to give you a rash and tell you that you have to do more and more is better. Hello, what is the name of my workbook course? It's Make More Work Less. What I mean is you have to put out one quality piece of content a day. And when you are in a kind of launch phase or sale, or you're wanting a cash influx in your business, you're going to have an increase in emails for sure. Like 1 or 2 a week isn't going to cut it. I'm not saying you have to like inundate people, but that won't cut it. I have a whole email marketing thing that we go into the easy and lazy way inside the Posse membership. But I need you to be deliberate and more strategic about your content. And I need to see 1 piece of content a day. That's not asking too much. You should be spending 75 to 80% of your time when it comes to filling up your business with ideal clients on content marketing. That doesn't mean when you're at a certain point, you have to be the person who makes all the graphics and puts the posts in the auto poster and all that crap, or edits your videos. No, you don't have to. But in the beginning, yeah, that's normal. I edit a lot of my own stuff and I delight in it. We have to find a way to delight in these things, even on our worst days. And again, make sure there is a dotted line where it makes sense. But again, I said dotted. I didn't say a straight line. It doesn't need to be obvious. I don't need you to be salesy, but you need to let them know, I understand what you're dealing with, what your challenges are, what you're facing, and how that feels to you. And this is how we can get you relief in this area. This is going to help you move the needle in the direction you want to go in. And I have this opportunity for you now to do so. I have this thing that's going to help you with it. But make sure, obviously, in your content, you're giving them some nugget of something. I don't want you doing like a straight up ad. I need you to give them the nugget, and then you drop in a casual, like if they want. I mean, you guys don't have to fucking join the Posse. You don't have to get the workbook. I love you just the same. There's a lot of people who've been listening to this show for years that haven't bought one thing from me. And I'm calling you out. And I don't take it personally. It's because you haven't gotten to the fuck it point yet, and I'm doing it, and I know I can do it, and I'm going to give it a damn shot. You start doing these things that I just spelled out today and keeping it simple and managing your crazy brain, that I never once said you have to do something more in this entire episode. What I just need you to do is you're kind of going in a 90-degree over here to the right, and I need you to kind of move things by 70 degrees to the left. You're just moving and rearranging. You're not buying new furniture. You can do this without a doubt. If you want it to happen quicker, faster, easier with support and direction, you know where to go. ProjectMeWithTiffany.com/Black Friday. And you want to do the double abundance header, then also go to ProjectMeWithTiffany.com/Make More Work Less. Links are in the show notes. Leave a 5-star written review of the show on Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, you can tap the 5 stars. It takes 1 second. You can tap the 5 stars over on Apple. That means so much to the show. And I love when you guys are leaving detailed comments as you're listening and watching the show on YouTube. This way, I know what's resonating, what you'd love to hear more about. what ahas that you've had so that I can deliver always a higher and better quality product to get you excellent results and hopefully entertain you and keep you interested and reminding you that you've got this and that you too can show up with limited brain cells and still deliver. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.